All right, we are live. Welcome to the unboxing live stream, 10/15/21. We got 16 records to open and talk about, and it's going to be awesome. So thank you guys for spending the time. I just pinned the Indiegogo for the Too Many Records record store. There's only a few more days left. If you've been thinking about supporting it, now would be the time to do so. Otherwise, you miss your chance to support it. And there's a lot of cool perks. So hopefully some people will be into it. Obviously, you don't have to support it if you don't have the means. But if you do, we really appreciate it because we are spending a lot of money trying to get these cool merch perks to you guys, trying to obviously find the perfect location. And we have been hustling. If you guys saw my recent video, we we had to remove ourselves from the running of a location we really liked. It was just a little too expensive. They wouldn't really work with us. And even though I think it would have been a good fit, some things unfortunately don't happen the way you think they will. But Roland and I actually went to a spot last week this week, losing track of time, that we really, really like. And we both immediately were like, this could be the place. So I think we're going to put an offer towards it, and hopefully we lock in the Too Many Record store. It's a really, really cool space. Feels way bigger than the square footage. It's kind of like a railroad style with some interesting wall and floor stuff going on. So fingers crossed I can make a video in a couple weeks that says, hey, we found the location. But until then, I'm just here chatting about records with you guys, and we have a lot to get through today. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to periodically refer everyone back up to the Indiegogo link in the description, in the chat box. But let's say some hellos first. Hey, Travis. What's up, James? Nori, nice shirt, dude. Thank you. Janosh is here. We got Frank. All right. Lots of good folks. Let's do the thing, right? You open the records and you see the records. Shout out to the glorious Too Many Records. This thing has so much mileage on it at this point. This has seen some wars. Do you guys remember when I moved cross country and I unboxed like 100 and something mailers? This thing, thankfully these don't depreciate like cars, because this thing would be absolutely worthless. What's up, Hannah? All right. Hi, from Argentina. Nice. I always love when we get people all around the world in these streams. It makes me feel very connected to the vinyl community as a whole, which is awesome. What's up, Pens? What's up, Nick? All right, Nick's here, so we can officially start, folks. I was really just waiting for him. All right, this first record, what's it going to be? I don't know. Oh, yes, the Protoman. Feels like there's something else here. It might just be the... Oh, there is. It's a newsletter. The Protoman is I've talked about them before, and I've probably unboxed a record of theirs before, too. I actually ended up trading my old version of this to someone who wanted it. I forget what I traded it for. It was on Reddit. But this is a repress of their first album. It's a Mega Man-themed rock album. Has a lot of different rocky type elements to it. Definitely for fans of rock and video game music, it kind of is an interesting hybrid of the two. But yeah, so... excited to get this variant, have it back in the collection, and let's keep going. I prefer Protoman Act 2, their second album, which is like a kind of like a musical almost. It's like a Bruce Springsteen-esque Americana musical. Really cool songs on there. Very unique band. Not a lot of people do it quite like the Protoman. I'd actually love to see them live at some point if I had the opportunity. All right, what is this one? Let's see. This is a big box. Big box means either a lot of... for the record, Hannah, that it's not technically video game music because it's not from a game. It's just the rock music is inspired by Mega Man, like lyrically and sonically too. Oh, the UK has arrived. All right, we got all around the world. We got real Daft Punks in here. Terrible joke. All right. Finally getting this box open. It's a little bit of a challenge. So this is, I got this out of a group. There's a Facebook group called Wholesome Vinyl Posting, I believe it's called, and some guy gave a really solid deal to me for all 3 releases by this band Stand Atlantic. Stand Atlantic is a pop punk band that's kind of a modern new wave, like part of like that new era of pop punk. I wouldn't say they're quite the same as like Seaway, State Champs necessarily. I think it's a little more experimental than that, at least from this album, Pink Elephant, which is their most recent release. But he had all 3 of these for like 55 shipped, which is crazy because I think one of these alone could go for that in the aftermarket. But this is Stand Atlantic Pink Elephant. Then we have one of their EPs, Sidewinder, and then we have Skinny Dipping, their first record. So I dove headfirst into all 3. I already had a copy of Pink Elephant, but you know what? Now that I have a record store, one goes in the store, one stays in the collection. So that's kind of like, as you guys know, my motto lately. Very dangerous motto to have, but it's also, you know, a fun way to continue the store's, you know, stock and whatnot. So shout out to the gentleman in that group that gave me such a sweetheart deal. Let's continue. Who's getting the Brown Bunny soundtrack, Janosch says. I double dipped. As you guys know, I have an original. I actually have a bootleg also, but I double dipped because it's maybe my favorite soundtrack of all time. John Frusciante's guitar work and just the fragile kind of lyricism really it does it for me in a big way. I really think if you're considering grabbing it, you should, because it will sell out fairly quickly. And once it's sold out, it'll again be $100+. And if you don't end up liking it, you can always trade it down the road. This is one of those ones that's going to hold and maintain value, so definitely check that out. This is something I've been waiting for what feels like well over a year. This is cool. So this is Across the Worlds, which is a Chrono Cross, which is one of my favorite video games. Piano collection. It was like this was some kind of Kickstarter type thing where by Wayo Records, and it was taking a lot of the songs from Chrono Cross. I forget if there's any Chrono Trigger stuff on here. I think it's just Chrono Cross, but it's doing these piano interpretations of them, and really into the music. That everything that Yasunori Mitsuda does is absolutely beautiful. Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger are 2 of the best game soundtracks of all time. And look at this cover art. And what's really cool is they included this. It looks like some kind of frameable print. It's very thick. And it's a very beautiful, striking image. I definitely will frame this up. This is gorgeous. So yeah, I've never seen a print like this. It almost feels like cardboard. I can't tell. But very cool, and excited to listen to this. It's been a long time coming. I told you I pre-ordered that probably, I don't know, a year ago. So one of those things that eventually showed up, much to my surprise. So this seems like a bit of a smaller stream today. Maybe I did it an hour earlier than usual. I think more people will definitely trickle in. But for now, if you guys could do me a favor, and if you could like this video, it helps YouTube promote it. Someone said favorite acid rap track. I mean, Juice is pretty amazing. I also love Cocoa Butter Kisses. But yeah, it's just a really good album. Really fun. It's Chance, at his best, I think. One of the best gaming soundtracks is Final Fantasy VII. Absolutely it is. That's my favorite of all time. So good taste, for sure. All right. So this is an album I took a chance on. This is the new James Blake record, Friends That Break Your Heart. It is the limited silver edition. The reason I say take a chance is because I have an interesting relationship with James Blake. I really, really enjoy his first 2 records. His third record is actually my favorite, The Color in Anything. Really absolutely beautiful record. I saw him tour for that record. It was just such a good show. And then I didn't really love Assume Form. I thought it was a pretty forgettable and kind of boring listen in comparison to his previous material. And I wasn't even going to really listen to this one. I thought maybe it was kind of, over. But Sandy actually texted me about this, and the lead single, she said that it reminded her vocally of the National with the way that he was singing and kind of like the vibe of it. And I listened, and I have to say I agree with her. It really does capture some National vibes. Not the whole song, but definitely portions of it. So I was like, all right, off the strength of that single, I'm going to take a chance. I grabbed the limited version. You know, if I end up not loving it, it'll go in the store. If I do love it, it'll stay in the collection. But yeah, excited about this for sure. Hopefully it's a return to some sort of form for James Blake. Let's keep going, shall we? I have to apologize if I'm a little low energy tonight. I feel like for the past month and a half I have been going crazy. If you guys have been watching my Instagram stories, I've been all around the U.S. back and forth, different concerts, you know, seeing family, seeing friends. It's been kind of like chaotic, you know, filming those videos. If you guys haven't seen, I did videos with Adam, who's here right now in Minnesota, and then I also did a video in Knoxville with my best friend. So check those out if you have not. I think you will enjoy them. I dig and show you what I find. Here we go. One of my favorite albums of the year, Flowers for Vases by Hayley Williams, a.k.a. the lead singer of Paramore, who put out 2 solo albums in the past 2 years that are both magnificent. I'll talk more about this. This is going to be, spoiler alert, this is going to be in my top 10 albums of the year, so I'll talk more about this in the top 10 recap I do in December. But yeah, this is a phenomenal album, Flowers for Vases. I think Hayley Williams is so unbelievably talented, and I hope that Paramore 6 is around the corner because, you know, the sharp turn that they took with After Laughter really, I think, resonated with people beyond Paramore fans. I think your average music fan really was digging what she was doing with the kind of like change up in their sound, a little bit of a tropical, kind of like, you know, fun beats, sad lyrics. It was good. Which album did you see for Ridiculously Cheap? I feel like I missed what you were referring to. So this right here, I hope he's in this chat right now. I don't know if he is, but there's a guy who watches this channel, Christopher, and he sent me a copy of this. He claims it's a really clean copy disc-wise. My version is probably VG Plus. And I will say that, you know, I've always wanted an original pressing that was really clean. Let's actually look and see. I can't really argue if it's not because he gave it to me for free. So, let's see. I mean, I see some scratches, but scratches on older records doesn't always mean they're going to have noise. This one has some scratches. There's some pretty big scratches on this one. Well, either way, I'll give it a spin. I'll see if it sounds good. And if not, I'm sure this will be a cool thing for the store. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. This box has seen a little bit of better days. But always nice to have more copies of this. Oh, he's here. He just made it. Chris, you made it just in time. This is your All Things Must Pass. I mean, this is a timeless record. I actually really enjoyed the newest remaster they did. I got the Splatter one. I thought it sounded really great. I know it sounds different, apparently, than the original. I don't know if I know the album well enough to really pinpoint a lot of the differences, but I did enjoy... This is one of my favorite things the Beatles have ever done in terms of, like, a Beatles solo or the Beatles collective. Yeah, I just think this is one you can never really have too many copies of. I feel like, yeah. So, let me answer your question about Hayley Williams before I move on. Hayley Williams' latest 2 records are not pop punk at all. Her first one, Petals for Armor, is a art pop record. It has a lot in common with Radiohead. It's very interesting and unique. The newer one is very singer-songwriter. It is honest lyricism, really emotional, not pop-punk at all. I think you would definitely enjoy them, and you should listen. All right, let us keep going. This is some kind of... We got some extra protection here. Let's see. You're sending me 8 more records. Hey man, I'll never turn down a record unless it's like filled with bugs. Oh, I could say that this is gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those Fort Knox things where it's like impossible to open. It's just like overprotection. I don't think I've ordered any super grails lately, as far as I know. So let's see if I can fairly easily get this. Yeah, this is going to be a little pain in the butt, I think, for sure. All right. What is going on with this? Oh my gosh. This is so unnecessarily complex. This is so complex. Seller, what are you doing? Why? Why is this so difficult to open? What are you hiding in here? What are the treasures to unearth? Even with my blade, I feel like I'm nowhere near. Oh my gosh! All right, guys, we're in this together now. This is one of those things, and I always feel like the ones that are the best packed are the most underwhelming. Maybe I'm wrong, but usually it tends to be the case. Okay, let's try this. These ones are test. Oh, here we go. I think I figured out the method to the madness. I think these ones usually are just testing me to see if I'm gonna cut myself. Like maybe it's like some like fan sending this who wants to really challenge me. Still, there's just another layer. I got the outer layer. Am I jumping on the Jose Gonzalez reissues in November? I have multiple copies of every Jose record. I don't think I need a reissue. However, if he does a cool version, I'll probably bite because it's Jose. That's my official statement. All right, we're almost here, guys. What can anyone guess what this is? Do you want? Okay, I think I've almost got it. Oh, I actually know why this was packed so well because this came from overseas. And yeah, so this is something kind of cool. And it's video game related, so if you don't care, this tune out for 3 minutes. All right. Wow. Holy crap. Okay. All right. All right, we did it. This is a bootleg of Radio Los Santos, which is a hip-hop station from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, one of my favorite games growing up. I just thought this was really cool. It's on green vinyl. Obviously, this is not official, but the tracks on here are phenomenal. I mean, you got Dr. Dre, you got NWA, Eazy-E, Tupac, you got Ice Cube, Too Short, Cypress Hill, lots of good artists from like that gangster rap era from California. This is a really fun boot. And I think this is cool that this was made. I hope that whatever this person is who decided to take a risk to not piss Rockstar off and get in trouble, I hope that they do Vice City as well, because all of those 80s songs on that soundtrack is just terrific. So really excited about that as well. Big fan of Grand Theft Auto. I mean, I grew up on that game. I think the first time I played Grand Theft Auto 3, it was like a life-changing moment for me as a kid. As a gamer, getting to play a game like that was just so involved visually, and what you could do within the game was just crazy. So, yeah, so cool. All right, let's keep going. So this is an album that surprised me this year. I don't know if it's not going to be my top 10, but I did enjoy it a lot. This is Japanese Breakfast Jubilee. I had a kind of an interesting relationship with Japanese Breakfast up until this point. I always enjoyed her music to an extent, but I never loved the full albums. I even saw her at a festival, and I thought that it was kind of boring to me. I didn't really love it. However, this album I really, really enjoyed, and it was a short but sweet album. It didn't overstay its welcome. It felt fresh the whole way through. Be Sweet is one of my favorite tracks of the year, I would say. But yeah, so I had to pick this up. This is the clear with yellow swirl, which is a pretty perfect, match to this cover, I would say. So yeah, impressed with her output, and she's back on my radar. Hopefully, she can keep making music in this vein, but keep it interesting. I suppose we will see over time. For those of you who just joined, I'm starting to see the numbers creep up. If you missed any records, This video will be on YouTube. You can check it out when the stream is done. If you want me to answer any questions of yours, you can always super chat me in the chat, and I will be happy to answer anything to the best of my ability. And also, we have like 3 days left in the Indiegogo for the Too Many Records store. The link is up at the top, pinned in this chat box. So maybe take a look and see if there's any perks you're interested in. I'm watching the viewers drop as I'm self-promoting. Just open the records, monkey. All right. I'll dance. I'll open the records for you. No self-promotion. I got it. All right. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Okay, there we go. Another bootleg. This is one I got talked into by the folks over at Rolling Rex, which is the main place to get your boots these days. This is a Pearl Jam Live in Argentina bootleg. Really good era of Pearl Jam Live. I mean, this is Buenos Aires. It's just a lot of really good songs all the way through. I think this was the Avocado era, I believe. It's just it's a really nice group of songs. It's on multicolored vinyl, which is cool. And I'm pretty much a sucker for any Radiohead bootleg at this point. Jesus, did I say Radiohead? Woo! Pearl Jam! Someone needs a nap. I'm a sucker for any Pearl Jam bootleg because their live shows are so fun and they're so varied. In every performance, there's different things. You know, it's never going to be the same thing twice, especially with some of the songs that he likes to change up live, like, I don't see it on here, but Daughter, Luke Kinney sometimes does slow, sometimes does fast, and it's just an interesting, this is a really good set list. So if you're into Pearl Jam Live, this is a classic show, and I'm glad it got a bootleg. All right, so that was a nice satisfying pull, I would say. Let's keep going. Okay, this is cool. These were impulse buy that I have zero regrets about, and they're the standard versions because I missed out on the limited ones. Such is life. This is 3-part compilation ranging from 1968 all the way through 1988. It's called A to Z, a Wamono A to Z. It is the first installment is called Japanese Funk 1970 to 1977. Second one is Japanese Light and Mellow Funk, Disco and Boogie, 78 to 88. And then Japanese Jazz Funk and Rare Grooves, 68 to 80. If you just sample any tracks from these, you will be enthralled. I mean, this is like direct... This is like future funk. Vaporwave is like a direct descendant of this era of music, without a doubt. It's extremely funky and fun and danceable and groovy, and I just knew that these comps would be good to throw on anytime, anywhere. This would be good for a party. This would be good for just hanging out by yourself. And I love this series, and I hope it continues. I wonder what else they can pull from these eras. But they're Light in the Attic is the one that did these comps, I believe. I think so. They at least distribute it. But definitely check them out. If you like funk and you don't know much about Japanese funk, like myself, I did not know too much about Japanese funk. But this is something that I think you'll enjoy. It's funny because funk is one of those... I'm going to pause and take a little water. This stream sponsored by Blockbuster. I'm realizing that my funk and soul knowledge from stuff that's not modern is really small. And I know that, I just heard... Man, what was the name of that group? This guy I met, he showed me this band, and you're going to laugh when I can't think of it off the top of my head. Hold on, let me find it. He showed me this band, and I loved it. And it's from, I think, the 70s. Really, really good. Brothers... What is it? Brothers Johnson. I apologize. I know they're a fairly big name in, the funk scene, but Brothers Johnson, they blew my mind, and I was like, you know what? I love funk more than I realize, more than I give myself credit, and I think that that's going to be a dangerous rabbit hole because I understand that once I discover what funk I love from the 70s, all the best stuff is really hard to find and rare. And I don't need another genre destroying my wallet, although it will make collection buys more fun for me for the store. So it's a double-edged sword, but really enjoyed what I heard of Brothers Johnson. What do we have here? Oh, this is one that I've been dying to add to the collection, and I've just been paralyzed. Decision paralyzed is definitely the obvious one. I don't know why I jumped to a weird pluralization. This is Aphex Twin Selected Ambient Works 85 to 92. A lot of versions of this record are supposed to sound bad, like represses. So I've been kind of stuck not buying any copies, just waiting for there to be a general consensus about this being like the version. And this is the 2021 repress, and I've actually heard it sounds good. So I bought it on a whim. You know, it was retail price. It was probably like $28, and I'm gonna listen to it. And if it's not good, I'll share with you guys in the TMR group that it is still one to unfortunately avoid. But I'm hoping that this is gonna be a home run. We will see. Yeah, Aphex Twin, I love his fast-paced stuff, but his ambient stuff for me is my favorite. So some really pretty songs on here, like Extal. I don't know if you pronounce it like that, but I do. Really cool. All right. Let's keep going. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more, and then we'll do some Q&A, as we always do, like we always do at this time. All right. You know the vibes. All right. So this is actually, I'm a little annoyed at this. Great packaging, though. This is, just hit myself in the face. You see that? This is Billy Strings' Renewal. This is his latest record. Billy Strings is a bluegrass virtuoso that has captivated me, even though I am the farthest thing from a bluegrass fan. I just think he's so talented that if you like music, it's hard to not appreciate what he is doing. A little annoyed at their web store because I purchased the pre-order of this record on their web store, the black variant, and a couple days later, the indie exclusive Clear was announced. Not for sale on their site, but I went and I wanted to support a local indie store, and I wanted to get the Clear variants, so I asked if I could cancel this one, and then I would go and pre-order the other one. I mean, ultimately, it's helping Billy Strings. When you cut down to the bottom, it all comes back to him. And they refused to cancel it, even though it was a pre-order. And if I wanted to raise a stink, I could have. I could have PayPal disputed them, and I could have won for holding my product, but it just wasn't worth it to me. I just thought that was kind of crappy that they... that's kind of going into my video that I just put out, kind of the whole idea of a label putting out a variant and then a cooler variant showing up right after, or like, you know, after it sells out. I just have issues with how some of this stuff is being held lately. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about this. All right. You guys aren't being that talkative tonight. What's going on? Lazy Friday? Usually I'm inundated with comments. Right now it's a very mellow chat. You know, I guess they can't all be chaotic, which is fine. So this is another artist that I slept on. I heard lots of good things and I did not jump on it, but I listened recently and I absolutely love it. And before I answer that, I will talk to Jason for the first super chat of the evening. Thank you so much, Jason. Is my collection more original first presses or more represses? That is a good question. And I would say if I had to wager, it's probably... That's a really hard question to answer. I think the better way to answer that question would be, do I specifically chase after first presses? And the answer is no. I always look for the version that sounds the best, And if that's the first press, I go for that. If it's a remaster, that's like a recent thing, I go for that. But then again, if all the versions are known to be pretty similar in sound, I'll usually go for the cheapest version or the coolest variant, whichever one kind of. It's like it really depends record to record. So I don't really know if it's mostly first presses or mostly represses. I would say of my classic stuff, it's probably some repress. But again, there's so many pressings of stuff from the 50s through 80s, it's hard to know. I think a lot of my stuff is first presses. Now that if I really had to, gun to my head answer it, I think, a lot of my stuff, some of the stuff only had one press, so then technically it's the first press. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. This is Faye Webster. I know I'm funny, haha. Kind of like a singer-songwriter, a little bit of a country twang at times. Really, really good, and I slept on this. I didn't listen when it first came out, and a lot of the variants sold out. This is the blue variant, matches her sweater nicely. And I'm jumping down the Faye Webster train now, and I'm enjoying her previous material as well. So this is one of those pleasant surprises where the hype actually met with my experience with it, which was cool. So, really enjoyed this and happy to own a copy now. All right, this is gonna be another tough pull. All right, here we go. Yeah, all right. Really, this is my workout, just trying to open these mailers. All right. Some nostalgic albums from my youth. I got suckered into a mystery grab bag of sorts. This is from the label Relapse. They do a lot of kind of like pop punk related, some hardcore stuff. And they were selling these variants. It was a mystery variant, so it was either black or it was colored. And it looks like, based on the sticker, I only got one color, but that's fine. It's Thursday Full Collapse, which is, an album from my youth. And then these two, I don't know if they're going to hold up, but for $15 each, and the chance at a colored variant, I dove in. This is two Hawthorne Heights records. If You Only You Were Lonely, and The Silence in Black and White. So this is stuff I really liked in high school, and I haven't really listened to too much lately, but I figured, if I got a colored variant, that would be cool for the store. And if not, it'll still be cool for the collection. I'm going to open them right now just to confirm that I don't have colored variants, because I'm curious. I'm a sucker for a good mystery kind of like grab bag scenario. I'm a sucker to see if I get the rare version. It's like opening a pack of trading cards, right? It's like you don't really know until you open it. So Thursday Full Collapse is just standard black, as to be expected. This one I'm assuming is also going to be standard black. This is the album with Ohio is for Lovers, their biggest hit. I wasn't as into Hawthorne Heights because I didn't love the screamy aspects of their music, but I liked the not screamy stuff, so I was torn, unfortunately. Alright, let's see. Color? Just black. Alright. Black for that. But let's see what color we got for If Only You Were Lonely. Always fun to see. Anyone want to guess what color this is? I don't even know what variants they have, but probably some kind of blue is my assumption. Guess we'll find out. Hey, Lisa. All right, and no guesses? All right, I'm just going to go and see. No, I was totally wrong. But it's a cool green, and green's my favorite color. Does not match the cover at all, but you know what? I'd never be mad at a green record. So I think that was worth it, just to, if anything, to even put in the bins at the store. Probably worth it. All right. This is the newest Vinyl Me Please, Vaketamist, Grizzly Bear. This was a seminal album from my college days when I was really into indie music and trying to take in all the indie rock of the late 2000s, early 2010s, and this album is excellent. And I for some reason didn't own it. I guess I just like never felt compelled to buy it, but I'm excited to have it now. I think this is definitely a great important indie rock record from the era, and 2009, yeah. It was released on Warp Records. I didn't know that. That's cool. And then one more box. It looks like we have, I don't know what this is, but there might be a couple records in here. Let's see. Oh, it's just one. And it's another throwback, except this one I'll stand behind a little more. This is a super fun pop punk record. This is Sugar Cult Start Static. Sugar Cult, one of those bands that I think, really, really holds up in terms of just having fun music. The two big songs on here are Pretty Girl the Way and Bouncing Off the Walls. But it comes with a few bonus tracks, a live version of Bouncing Off the Walls. Just really fun, sugary, Sugar Cult, I get it. Sugary, kind of like saccharine pop punk, just like very in-your-face riffs that are catchy and not that complex. But yeah. This album was out of print for quite a long time, and it just got a repress. The Ox. The Ox is it's embossed. Nice touch. Always nice. So those are the records that I am unboxing tonight. Nothing insane. No grails that are like out of control, but some great additions to the collection. Feel free to ask me a couple questions now if it wants to be about music in general. If you want it to be about the store, that would be cool too. And I will remind everyone again that the link to the Indiegogo is right up there. In fact, I'll post it again. And if you guys can help support, that would be wonderful. We're about 25% of our goal. It doesn't mean that we can't open if we don't have. It just makes it a lot easier to handle some of the upfront costs the higher we get. So any support helps. Lots of cool TMR merch. People are asking all the time for TMR merch, and I finally make it, and then everyone decides to disappear, which is the way that things work on the internet. They're like, "Where's my slip mat?" And I'm like, "Here it is." And they're like, "Never mind." But such is life. Let's see. Thoughts on VMP charging way more for a Dell 30 than her web store for the same variant? My thought is that sounds like VMP. That sounds like a move that they would do in 2021, and I am not surprised at all. Hot take. Snoop Dogg only has one classic, Doggy Style, and the rest of his catalog ranges from okay to horrible garbage. I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's a fairly solid take. I don't think anyone really loves anything outside of Doggy Style for Snoop Dogg. I think that's his best record, and everything after that is, hit or miss. So I think that's a lukewarm take. But he's still a legend. That's true, Luke. I agree with that. He is still a legend. Have I looked at the box of Brazilian albums for the store? So it's a mixture of Brazilian albums and jazz records. I have not opened them yet, and it's because I'm not going to price them till I get them to the store, and I don't want to have to, they're already primed for being moved. So as soon as we have the location and I can bring them to the store and start pricing, I will be teasing those boxes, because there's 500 incredible records in there. So lots of good stuff. I mean, the person I got it from lived in Brazil for a few years and just picked up a ton of Brazilian pressings of jazz stuff, of Brazilian stuff. So it's gonna be good for sure. I'm gonna have to resist not pilfering the Brazilian stuff from my collection. At least not all of it. Thoughts on the new Lil Ugly Mane album? I love this record so much. I can tell you with certainty it's making my top 10. Where it lands, I don't know. It's just so unexpected for Lil Ugly Mane to put out an album that no rap at all. It's just it sounds like George Clanton. It really has this kind of modern, kind of lo-fi indie pop sound that's musically very complex, but also very simple at the same time. And I think it's an interesting album. Not what I expected from him, but I love it, and I can't stop listening to it. I think it's really infectious, and anyone who didn't like Lil Ugly Mane because they are not a rap fan should check out his latest release, because it is a complete departure of sound. What were my thoughts on Certified Lover Boy? I listened once, and I'm good. That's how I felt about every Drake album since Nothing Was the Same, to be completely honest. It's crazy how hard he dropped off. Like, the fact that I was such a big Drake fan when he put out, like, So Far Gone and Take Care and Nothing Was the Same, and I was like, this guy can't miss, he's the best. And then a bunch of forgettable records. Like, even people that love If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, there's only like 4 good tracks on there, in my opinion. And Views, super bloated, couple good tracks. But man, I feel like he just keeps getting worse and worse. And yeah, not very good. I can't even believe that people are trying to compare it to Donda. I mean, first of all, they sound nothing alike. And second of all, Donda is leaps and bounds a more impressive album than Certified Lover Boy. For my rare posters and prints, do I have my frames custom made with museum glass or order the ones available? Good question. Any print that's valuable, like any of my foil prints or like, artists that are really, in demand, I always get them custom framed. It's expensive, but it's worth it because if you don't put museum glass or at least UV protective glass, the lights in your house could damage them over time. Natural sunlight will damage them over time. And then, it's important to put them with acid-free backing. So like if you put it in a frame that just has like cardboard, it's going to leach into the print. Like I had it happen to one of my prints where it was in a frame for like 3 years and the acid from the cardboard actually leached into the back of the print and stained part of it. So it's not snake oil. It's a real concern. And, custom framing can be very expensive, but my advice for you is if you're into it and have a lot of art, make friends with your local frame shop because they'll hook you up. Oh, Dean with the super chat, but no question. Thank you so much. If you have a question, I will happily answer. Am I continuing my day job after the store opens? I am. I like my day job, and I am going to continue to do it as long as I can. If eventually the store reaches a point where I have to do that full time, and it's lucrative enough to do so, I'll probably switch over to doing that full time. But for now, I'm going to try to juggle it all. I mean, I feel like my entire time doing Too Many Records, I have had a full-time job and the channel, and I've kind of just been nonstop. And I think a lot of people don't realize that about me. They think I just am like some wealthy kid who buys a bunch of records and whatever it may be. But no, I mean, like, I work really hard. I have multiple jobs, and I don't sleep. So, yeah, it's going to get even crazier once the store opens. Will I be selling video games a la Final Form? Not at the scope that Patrick does. I mean, Patrick really has the best selection of used games in the Pacific Northwest, I think. But I might have a miscellaneous section of the store, which will sell like posters and figures and games and things like that. Roland and I still have to kind of talk through what exactly will be sold outside of records, but possibly. Do I like reggae rap? I'm not a huge reggae fan, personally. I've just never been able to get into reggae in a big way. Do I have any dubstep or bass records? No, I'm not a big fan of dubstep. Did Kid Cudi make a psychedelic rock album? Kind of. So he put out an album called Speeding Bullet to Heaven, and it's kind of like a psychedelic lo-fi grunge hip-hop record. It's basically like Kids See Ghosts, without the immaculate production. It's kind of all over the place, and a lot of people hate it. The only negative thing I can really say about it is that there are these weird Beavis and Butthead interludes that don't really make sense, and they kind of draw the album out. But ultimately, I actually kind of like it. It's an interesting sound that he played around with, and I think that with more honing and a different producer, he could have really made something really unique. And I think Kids See Ghosts is kind of like the successor to that. Is Enema of the State my favorite Blink record? It's my first Blink record, one of my first records, period. But no, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket is probably my favorite of their records. But you really can't miss with Enema, Take Off, and Self-Titled. They're all so good. See, Luke's getting mad at me for my If You're Reading This opinion. I just couldn't get into it. You know what? I haven't listened to it in full since the year it came out, so maybe I should revisit it. Enough time has passed that maybe some of it will grow on me. Have I listened to any stuff from King Gizzard? Yeah, you must be new to this channel, Skylone. I actually helped one of the Polygonawanaland pressings come to fruition with my collaboration with Vinyl Moon. We did a couple different variants, a Wax Mage, and we also did a liquid filled of it with Richard Houghton. I love King Gizzard, although it's a little overwhelming these days, and I feel like I haven't really spent a lot of time with a lot of the stuff from Fishing with Fishies onward. I like some of Infest the Rat's Nest if I'm in the mood for thrash. Some of Butterfly sounds pretty cool, but I haven't heard the whole thing. Didn't really like KG or LW that much. I love Nonagon Infinity. That was my introduction to them, and I saw them perform that at a tiny club in LA, and it was one of the craziest shows I've ever been to. It was wild. Would I like a swap for your signed Kings of Convenience, Peace and Love? I would love to figure that out with you. If you want to shoot me an email with your want list, I would love to discuss some kind of trade. That would be awesome. As you know, I'm a huge fan of Kings of Convenience, so that would be super cool. Let me know. I would love to. I'm sure I have something in this room that you would appreciate. What is the rarest, most valuable record I will have available at my shop at this moment? That's a really hard question because nothing is technically available at the shop yet because it's all in boxes, and I haven't priced everything. So I don't know. That's a good question for me in like 3 months or 2 months. Right now it's hard to answer. I do know that as part of that collection of jazz records I acquired, there's a Bill Evans box set in there that goes for like $500-$600, so that's definitely going to be up there for sure. Of Tyler the Creator's newer albums, Flower Boy, Igor, Call Me If You Get Lost, how do I feel they rank against his older discography? I mean, I feel like they're almost completely different artists, so it's hard to rank them against each other. Personally, I really love Bastard and Goblin. I mean, that was what got me into Tyler back in the day. I also really enjoy the 3 albums you mentioned, but I do think that they're all a little samey. I think Call Me If You Get Lost is the best of the 3. It's a good sound that he's cultivating, but it doesn't feel as dynamic as like a Kendrick album. You know, it doesn't have that kind of individualized staying factor of the songs as well as a cohesive sound. So I like old Tyler more probably, but I think a lot of that is nostalgia based, and I understand that a lot of it does not hold up, especially lyrically. So it's a hard thing to say. Will my shop do record store day stuff, or is there like a threshold that needs to be met for RSD to take you seriously? I've answered this in a couple of live streams before, and I think the succinct answer is that eventually I would like to do record store day stuff. I'll always celebrate record store day in the sense of having good deals and cool wall records for the day of. But I think that the way that record store day is going, I think that there's a lot more less desirable stuff than in the past, and I think you have to buy more than you're planning on wanting to buy in. You can't just pick and choose a couple titles. You have to kind of get a certain amount. So probably not for a little while unless RSD really kind of regulates itself and pulls itself out of the rut that I think it's been in for a few years. And if they watch these videos, they'll probably get mad at me for saying that and not let me be a part of it. But again, I'm just speaking my truth. Cyclone, that makes way more sense. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, go back. There's a video of me. It's a video showing off all my Polygon and Wonderland variants, and the thumbnail's me doing the "Why can't I hold all these limes" meme, but with different records. So go check it out. That's a fun one. You saw King Gizzard first at a beach in Italy. That's hilarious. That's a great story. Stu seems like such a character. They are amazing live. I've seen them live twice, and I would gladly go again. As a Kanye stan, how familiar am I with his features? He has over 200 in total. Any favorites? It's a good question. First of all, Ken, thank you so much for the super chat support. Always appreciated. Nice to see a familiar face here. Man, his best features, I mean, he has so many over the years. I don't know if I have a favorite Kanye feature. I mean, there's a lot of people might say American Boy, the Estelle song. I think there are too many cringy lines in that for it to be my favorite. Actually, kind of like his feature on Katy Perry's E.T. I think it goes pretty hard. I think around the Graduation era, he was doing a lot of interesting features. But yeah, I don't think I'm as well versed with everything that he's ever done feature-wise. Am I going to pick up Lana's Blue Banister? I don't know. I got kind of burnt by picking up three variants of Chemtrails, and I just overall wasn't that into it. I thought it was just okay. So we'll see. I'll listen to the record first, and I'll buy later. Sometimes you gotta pull back before you dive in. Let's do a few more questions, and then I might end this a little early. Feeling a little sleepy. Might be pre-dinner nap time, which is arguably the best nap of the day. His best feature was with Mike Myers after Katrina. That's hilarious. I mean, that's an iconic moment in history, I must say, in entertainment history. Weird question. What are my thoughts on trap artists? I just tweeted about this, actually. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, I sometimes tweet ridiculous things, and it's a good follow, I think. But I am not a huge trap fan. I like a lot of trap artists when they're featured on non-trap records. I think that kind of like that dose of them is good for me, especially like Travis Scott and Young Thug. When they're featured, I like them more than their full projects. But I did just listen to most of Punk, Young Thug's record he just put out today, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was like very atmospheric, had like a really good acoustic guitar driven beats, energy to it. It was fun. It was a good record. It wasn't like mind blowing, but I definitely enjoyed it in the background, and I'll listen to it again. But yeah, I'm not a huge trap fan overall. You're a big Avalanches fan. Am I still enjoying We Will Always Love You? You know what? I am. I haven't listened to it in a couple months, but I do have tickets to their show. Roland and I are both going to their Portland show next year. So they follow me on Instagram, which is like a huge point of pride for me. And I reached out to them and asked if they would potentially be interested in popping by the store if they have time and shooting a little video. So they said it sounds fun. They responded to me, and hopefully they do have time when they're in town, but we'll see. That would be a dream to have the Avalanches come to the store and do a video with them. Thoughts on Let It Be Super Deluxe? I have not heard it, Adam, so I can't rank it. Am I getting Adele 30? Do I like Adele? My girlfriend would be mad at me for answering this question. It's one of her favorite artists, and for me, I've always been underwhelmed by everything but her voice. I think she has a phenomenal voice, but her music for me is kind of not my favorite thing. I think some of the singles that get overplayed become annoying very quickly. But I did enjoy the new single. I don't think it's one that I would put on regularly. It's a very sad song, but I'm not going to buy the record, but I'll definitely give it a listen when it comes out. Christopher says, going to make a contribution to the Indiegogo tomorrow. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, only a few more days left for the Indiegogo. Just a little more self-promotion. Any plans to have equipment for sale in the store or only media? We may have equipment, but it's not going to be a focal point. If we acquire something from a collection buy, we'll put it in the store, but I'm not going to have like a section for equipment. Thoughts on the Super Bowl Aftermath lineup? I'm actually really excited for that. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Kendrick. I'm not a sports guy. I very rarely watch the Super Bowl unless there's a party with snacks that I can attend and snack my heart's desire. But yeah, I'll definitely be watching that halftime show. I mean, that's going to be fun. I mean, it's unfortunate that like it's for the general public and it's on a network where, everything's going to be censored. So, I mean, how do you really do good Eminem songs? It's, I feel like it's going to devolve into like a portion of Lose Yourself and Not Afraid and some of his more commercial, safer songs, as opposed to the stuff we really want to hear. But I guess we'll find out. All right, this has been really fun. I am going to end this for now, but thank you guys for joining. Again, if you haven't looked at the Indiegogo, lots of cool TMR merch, lots of cool perks. There's a perk that lets you be in a TMR video. So if you guys have some money lying around and want to help the store out, much appreciated. We'll do more live streams in the coming weeks, but I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening and spend something I would like.